welcome to a new little feature I'm going to do occasionally. It's called the Guitar Guru. Okay, and what it is basically is me answering all your questions, guitar related. Okay, I get loads of questions. I mean, loads. There's over 8,000 people on my email list at this very moment in time, and I get bombarded with a lot of questions, and I love them. I answer them all. You know, I love getting around to answering your questions. And I thought what it might be a cool idea is to answer some in video form, especially some of the useful little ones that do need a video. So when I have a few minutes here and there, I'll be answering your questions. So if you have any, leave your question underneath this video. And this is the new Guitar Guru series. Right, look forward to reading them. And hopefully if I like the question and there's lots of smiley faces in it and compliments maybe, then I'll do a video for you too. Okay, otherwise I'll just answer you in written form on this YouTube page. Okay, the first question, and I thought it was a really interesting one, was from Raylene. She says, "Hi Dan, I have been playing guitar for a little over a year, and while I can play most bar chords, I can't get the hang of the B flat. Any tips? Thanks, Raylene." It's a great question because that B flat is a tough one. Okay, the one she's on about is this shape here. Okay, now first of all, let's just recap the actual shape. Okay, it's first fret on the A string, third on the D string, third on the G string, and third on the B string. Okay, you've also got the optional first fret on the high E string. But really, that's only an option if you're playing it like this. The truth is, most people tend to play this B flat using index finger for the first fret, ring finger for the third fret, D, G and B strings. Okay, so your actual bar is coming from this ring finger. The other option is to play with one finger on each fret and each string. So index finger would be first fret A string, middle finger third fret D string, ring finger third fret G string, and pinky. So you've got the two options of playing it. In my experience, I found most people find it easier to actually play it with one finger per note, like this, but in reality it's a lot faster to play this one. The chord changes become a lot quicker just doing the two finger one with the index and ring fingers. It's a lot easier to set up. You don't have to line up all these fingers like 1, 2, 3 like that. It's quite difficult to get them in at the same time for a lot of people, whereas using the two fingers, it's a bit easier. Okay, so whichever method you're going to use is going to be a little bit challenging, just for this B flat. But why is that? Mainly because when you're right here on the first fret with any chord, any bar chord on this first fret, it's going to be the hardest position for a lot of people to play, because as you're going down the neck towards a nut on these lower frets, the frets are bigger. If you have a look, it gets smaller as you go up, so you've got to stretch further down here, but also because the tension of the guitar is higher at this end than it is further down. I always say to students, if you imagine a tightrope, okay, right at the ends, that's where there's a lot of tension. Right in the middle where it dips, that's where you can see it's a lot softer, a lot less tension. And then at the other end, it gets tight again with a lot of tension. And that's kind of like a guitar string. Down this end, very tight, a lot of tension. Down this end, a lot of tension. But luckily, you'll never have to fret a note down this end. Imagine the pitch of that, ouch. Okay, in the middle, obviously, it's softer. And you can feel that when you press down. You just press down a note there, and then a note there in the middle. It's a lot softer in the middle. And the same there, so it gets tense again. So there's a lot more tension there in that first fret. So one of the things you can do to help build you up to playing this bar chord, this B flat on the first fret, is start off a little higher. So the 5th fret, and then the 4th fret, take it down to the 3rd fret, the 2nd fret, and then finally the 1st fret. You'll find it will get gradually harder. You can start even higher than that if you like, at the 10th fret, and work your way down. That's one of the tips I give to everyone, just gradually edging your way down. You know, week 1 you might only get down to the 4th fret before you start getting buzzes and whatnot. Week 2 you might get down to the 3rd fret, week 3 2nd, so on. But so that's a great way to do it, but you want to make sure your technique is in order and it's nice and solid as well. So get quite close to the fret with all your fingers. Feel the stretch between the 1st and 3rd fingers if you're playing it this way, or the 1st and 2nd fingers if you're playing it this way. Definitely want to feel the stretch. Don't want to avoid the stretch, because it's that feeling, that sensation of stretching that actually forces the stretch, funnily enough. So you want to feel that stretch as well and get right tucked in close to those frets. A lot of people never quite close enough, mainly because they lack the ability to stretch. Because they're not close enough to the fret, they've got to press harder and the fingers get more and more tired. So again, that's another reason to practice a little bit higher up, where you can get close to the fret and build a good foundational habit. The other thing to do is pick each note in the chord. Don't strum them. Strum it and you're not going to hear what's right or wrong in the actual chord. You're not going to hear the buzz notes. So just pluck each note individually and work your way down. Get close to those frets as possible. And then, you know, if you hear a buzz, you can catch it and then readjust. Okay. You want to make sure your thumb's in the right position as well. Don't let it go too high or too low. Get it just nicely in between these two fingers. You don't want it too far over here, and you don't want it too far here, because that's, unless you're very flexible, that's quite an awkward situation. So get your thumb in the middle of the two and work your way down 1 fret at a time. That's the best tip I can give you for playing that B flat. Start higher and work lower. Pick each note in the chord, get as close to those fret wires as possible, and in a couple of weeks you'll definitely be a lot better at playing it. It's a tough chord, one of the hardest bar chords to crack. There's quite a few songs that use it as well. Space Oddity by David Bowie, Lady in Red by Chris DePerre, what a classic. Penny Royalty by Nirvana, Slight Return by the Blue Tones, Yesterday by the Beatles, classic, and one of the greatest songs of all time, I'll Never Break Your Heart by Backstreet Boys. I bet you never thought you'd be hearing Backstreet Boys on this blog. Well, that's probably the only time I'll ever mention Backstreet Boys. If I ever mention them again, please shoot me. Please send an electric shock down the computer so it comes out and blows me up or something. Well, I'm only joking. Please don't. Because Backstreet Boys, you know, they're just the greatest band of all time. Anyway, I'm going to shut up about Backstreet Boys. This video is done. I hope you found those tips really useful. They are useful for all bar chords, but particularly for that awkward B flat, which is a really quite a cool and popular bar chord. Okay, now go get learning some Backstreet Boys, and I'll see you in a video soon. Don't forget to leave your question and comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.